Hello and welcome to the Can I Retire Now podcast with your hosts, Nick Russell and Becky Wagoner. I'm RJ and I'm your podcast producer, Nick and Becky. So good to see you. And Nick, I see already you are jumping in to the holiday spirit. That's a sweater, or is that a coat, or what do you got there?
So this is a sweatshirt hoodie.
Oh, okay.
That has
That's a Florida coat.
Merry Christmas with Santa and Frosty on it.
And
but
it looks like
also,
you have a tie.
It looks like a suit. Yeah, it's a tie with a jacket. Yeah, because, got to keep it classy.
Okay.
We're professionals here.
So, Becky, my question to you is, did you purchase that for him, or is that something he did on his own?
RJ, let me ask you, RJ, what do you think happened? Do you think she bought it for me? Do you think I bought it myself?
Absolutely not. No, I just wanted to hear what Becky had to say. I was trying to set her up. That's what I was trying to do.
No, that's my husband's handiwork for sure, not mine.
Well, scooch up yourself there, Becky. You got a nice little ugly Christmas sweater thing happening.
This is ugly, though. That's the intention. But the reason we are donning such gay attire, as the song says, is today we are talking about holiday spending and how to keep it holidays and not holidays. So
that's something I have not avoided for years. Holiday debt seems to be a modus operandi for me.
Yeah, it is. It's very common, and we weren't sure if we should talk about it since typically a lot of people talk about this, but it can impact your retirement in a couple ways if you're not aware of what's going on during the holidays. So either if you're in retirement and you have a set income and you can't go over it, or if you're trying to save for retirement and now you can't contribute in the way you want to because you have to pay off debts from the holidays. So
yes,
today we're going to talk about some strategies to keep it all in line and things to be aware of during holiday spending and the most expensive time of the year.
I've got my notebook because I'm going to take notes for this.
This is your chance, RJ. You get it right from the horse's mouth. So
the pen, notebook, ready to go.
So where do you want to start? Yeah.
We're going to go over a couple things like budgeting and gift ideas that are more like experiences based, which, a lot of people may know about already. But I'm just going to warn both of you from the beginning because there's so much data about retail spending. So there's way more than one fact, and I consider them all fun. So I may have a lot of statistics for this, but retail industry is nothing but data gathering. They know what sells and clicks, and they collect all that information. So we have the details. We have the facts here for you today.
Can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait, babe.
Okay. So
what do you want to start? What's the first thing on the list?
The most obvious thing, which is budgeting, which we have talked about before. And so I read, and the average person spends about $620 on gifts every year to hand out to people. That's the average American, by the way. But what we want to bring up regarding budgeting is something that may be overlooked is in your holiday budget, most people budget for gifts, right? But what else should you budget for during the holiday season that you don't necessarily spend money on the rest of the year in the same way? Any ideas?
I do not have an idea.
I would say travel for sure. People travel for the holidays, right?
So that should be included in your holiday expenses, right?
Yeah, flights, hotels, gas, tolls.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what we do here at the office? I don't know if this falls into gifts. We do Secret Santa here at the office. We have enough people here that we just did it the other day, drew the names and all that. So we set a budget, but that's still money that, people feel committed to spend. I don't know if that.
Yep. So that's something that sometimes is overlooked is all these incidentals that you have that come up that you think are small. Maybe it's a $10 limit or a $20 limit, but you're now doing it at your office or you're doing it with your friend group. Or another thing that can throw the budget is extra food expenses, either because you are cooking special food like cookie parties. So you have to buy all the special cookie ingredients and the packaging, or you're hosting. And so now you're putting on bigger meals and all this stuff, which in retirement, if you're cooking for 1 or 2 people on a regular basis, and now you have 10 people at your house for 4 days, that can throw your budget completely.
What about when we had your whole family over? It was 21 people at our house.
Wow.
It was
we
awesome.
Rotated, but we talked about it in advance. So my family, we each had a day and we all spread out the expense. But that's something that's often overlooked. And then, like I said, hostess thinks you're invited to parties. And so even like bringing a hostess gift, like a bottle of wine or flowers or whatever, should also be included in your budget. So when you start thinking about how much you're spending and you're like, man, I stuck to my budget for gifts this year. And then you go back and you're like, why is my credit card bill so high? It's because there's all these things that are part of holiday spending that I think a lot of people overlook in budgeting for that. So,
and I would think the holidays, just like how we've talked about budgeting in the past, it's become harder to keep track of it while it's happening because everybody just uses a credit card or debit card, right? If you were paying cash, like the old envelope system where you have cash and you're like, this is what I have for the month, you'd watch it dwindle down. And it's interesting. I didn't even think of food, but you're absolutely right. If you're cooking a meal for more people, but also like as a proud Italian, our 7 fishes and all that, the type of things you're cooking are more expensive than maybe your average daily meal as well. And then you throw in the quantity of people. Yeah, that's everybody loves eating at the holidays, but
and it's all yummy and it's part of, what you experience, but it can really throw a ratchet in your grocery bill if you're not careful. So a good way to kind of monitor that is if you're hosting or going to someone's house, maybe you say like, I'm able to provide the turkey or the ham. Why don't you bring a side and you bring the pie and you would, and all that kind of stuff that helps cut back and help out in that sense. So, and then for travel, something that our family does, Nick's mom in particular, and so does my mom, is a good way to help with budgeting there is they travel ahead of the actual holiday, which you're like, But Nick's mom goes up to her other grandchildren that live out of town early, and they celebrate by decorating the tree together and doing all these Christmas things together. But her flight is less, hotel expenses are less, and it's about being together, not necessarily on a particular day, but you get to, and you avoid all that headache of traveling on the actual holiday sometimes. So. That's a good idea too.
I've always been a big fan of that. And I know it sounds not in the spirit, I guess, but when holidays come, I always feel like spending time with the people is more important than spending time on a particular day. Yeah. Like even my own birthday, like you Becky, you're always so sweet. And our daughter goes, hey, let's do something on your birthday. And I'm like, well, my birthday's on a Tuesday and I have client meetings or, we'll do it on Saturday. We'll do it, whatever. We'll do it's more about sharing the experience together than the day. But what you just made me think of was what I shared with you the other day about I had people in my office I was talking to, new relationship, and they mentioned they travel to go visit their kids and grandkids. But when they go, they also, these are close to retirement retirees, they're about a year or two away. They then feel obligated to take everyone out for dinner when they visit, not just over the holidays, but all throughout the year. And I go, that's weird. When my mom lived in a different state and I flew to go visit her, she then felt like she should take care of me because I was inconvenienced and I put out money to go visit her and all of that. Now she's my mom, so maybe that was part of it. But if like my mom came to visit me when she lived up north, I would take her out and I would make sure she was taken care of. So that way, like the trip expenses in a way were shared. And I think it's just, boy, it adds up.
It does.
If you're not watching all that.
Especially if, you're sitting at the table and someone's looking at you waiting to pick up the check and you're like, playing chicken on that.
With, say, multiple kids, 4 or 5 grandkids, and all of a sudden it's not dinner for 2 anymore. It's dinner out for 8. That's a big bill.
Yeah, and you talk about traveling. I travel down to see my mom and my sister and my brother and their families during Christmas. I do the traveling, and because I work when I'm down there, I drive. I can't fly. I drive. Okay. And you'd think it's cheaper. but it's not, because I've got gas. I got to fill up a couple times. Then the hotel that I stay in, when I'm, I don't drive all the way through to Florida. So
It's a
yeah,
long drive. Yeah.
you're right. It adds up very quickly.
Yeah. And it all comes from a good place, right? These aren't expenses that are just, in theory, frivolous, right? These are things you want to see your family, you want to spend time, you want to give gifts, you want to show them a good time, entertain, host, give a good meal. So they all come from a good place. But if you just have blinders on to the price tag, and you're, like Becky said, on a fixed income in retirement, or needing to save more to get there, boy, those are big chunky numbers that people now just, they get to January, credit card debt is the highest normally in January, just right after the holidays.
Yes.
Yep. So
yes, and that's where I get creative with my language when I see my bill.
Oh, do you? What do you use?
Yeah, you have
We're not going to share those words.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I read somewhere, I don't have the exact fact in front of me. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But I'm going to paraphrase here. But I think something, it was like 40 to 60% of Americans are still paying for the holidays on their credit cards in February. So they're not paying it off in the first month or two. It continues, which is a significant thing. Nobody likes to increase their credit card debt at any time of year. So, so budgeting, when we talk about holidays, you may think just gifts, but it's really, you need to have the entire picture laid out in front. And which brings me to my next point. So Nick, like you said, you're going to people's houses and your family or whatever, and you want to host or be hosted, and you're not sure who's going to have that expense. The next thing is just to have the conversation with your family about maybe your situation has changed. You can say, hey, I have retired, or I'm trying to start the year off right without any debt. So my gifts and my holidays are going to look a little bit different this year. Happy to have you over, but maybe we can all contribute to the groceries, or you take a day of food and I take a day of food, or whatever. So that's the next tip, is to have the conversation, even if it's hard or awkward. So
imagine that. Now, I talk to people about that fact all the time. Talk to your family about money. Talk about what's going on. Be transparent with the people that you're closest to and love. They're not going to reject you for being honest and open. And honestly, the holidays get like really out of control really fast. What a nice, refreshing change to say, hey, let's simplify it a little bit. Like when your family came over, Becky's one of four, and my in-laws, and my mom, of course, lives across the street. So she used to, now she lives around the corner. And everybody came over, and one family did a meal a night, and it was great. And we had all the people there, and we enjoyed it. It didn't take, and I even forgot we did that, honestly, until you just said it. And it was an amazing experience. And we got to host them without, racking up a big, hey, we wanted to host them, so now, holy smokes, here's our bill in January.
Yeah. And you can do it with gifts also, right? So this was interesting that I read. In 2022, according to giftrabbit.com, 60% of shoppers were worried they'd be out gifted. And that is what motivated their shopping, because it was a friendly competition, right?
I know those people. I know people like that.
Someone shows up with a little something, so now you have to get a little something, and now it's like a thing every year, and next thing you know, like, you don't even know why you're giving gifts to these people. Both of you can buy what you need, and yet here we are, So when your motivation is to have a friendly competition or out gift someone, and it's not in anyone's benefit financially or emotionally or whatever, maybe just have that conversation and just say, you know what, instead of bringing gifts when we go out to have our hot chocolate, how about we just have the hot chocolate? Or, how about we just watch the movie together and we don't feel like we need to exchange gifts? So, and when it comes to family, maybe decide on some ground rules, like 18 and under get gifts, basically, or we do a secret Santa for all the adults, so you're only buying for one other person, or in my family, once we all started having children, there's 9 grandkids, we just said, you know what, we're only buying for our own families. We love you. If you need something, let us know, but we got to take care of our own. And no one was offended. No one was hurt, because honestly, everyone has enough stuff. It's not, you know what I mean? And it wasn't.
And we only have one,
hurt.
And everybody else has more. So it worked out for us. No, I'm just.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So, but that's really, I mean, to me, that's like just so simple, right? Like I tell my mom, like, I don't need anything for Christmas. I'm a grown adult who can buy himself what he wants when he wants it. I'd rather you come over for dinner and spend time with us, or come sit out the fire pit and make s'mores, with us and our friends. And rather spend the time with you than you buy me a thing that I may use, may not use, may like, may not like, and you just spent money that you didn't need to.
Exactly.
Yeah, my wife and I have sort of come up with a pact to avoid giving gifts to each other, because, we're at a point where we've been together for over 26 years now. And, it's what am I going to get her, type of thing.
Yeah.
So what we are doing now is picking out things we want to do together. Like an example is we went to the ELO concert about a month ago.
Fun.
Electric Light Orchestra, huh?
Yes, it was cool. And Jeff Lynne, who is pretty old, did a really good job. I was very envious of the 70-something-year-old guy on stage playing his guitar and singing. But, so we went out to dinner, and we went to the show, and it was good. And we're now trying to pick out something else. So this way there's no pressure on, okay, what am I going to get her now? And I'm awful with gifts. Notoriously awful. I mean,
oh no.
My mom even warned my wife.
Oh no.
He's just terrible. Terrible to react. You just can't, and you can't figure out what he wants. So, it takes pressure off my wife.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the point. You have the conversation. Nobody has expectations for something that's different. And you can enjoy the time together and stay within your budget and not go into debt about it. The other line that if someone's having a hard time comprehending that you may, you're cutting back on gifts this year. I read this online. I thought, ooh, that would be effective, but a little sharp. But is remind your kids or whoever, putting a financial burden on you now, if you're in retirement, may mean you'll have to ask them for financial help later.
Ooh.
So just be real honest about it. Like, I can spend the same and I'll be in debt, which means you're going to have to take care of me at some point. And I bet they might become a little bit more understanding.
We're out the spare room. I'm moving in when I run out of money. Yeah, I don't need a Christmas gift this year. I'm good. Yeah.
So,
but it's kind of interesting what RJ just said, because we talk about that in our house in general, is that we are definitely experienced people. Like, and this goes for everything. If we're going to spend money on something, I'd rather spend it on an experience, whether it's a trip, a concert, going to a museum, art show, something that we get to do together as a family, as a couple, instead of like, here's a trinket.
Right.
And some trinkets are pretty nice. I know you like the necklace I got you, Becky, and that kind of stuff. But like, but eventually, you're right. You've been together a long time. You enjoy spending time together. Why not go do something that you enjoy together? And and normally they're going to be at or around the same price or less, but it's an experience you have. And then a very Marie Kondo thing of me to say is that then you don't have this other thing in the house.
I don't want any more things.
Right. I don't want more things.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, I just touched everything we own in this move, and I want less of it. So Nick and I have had this conversation. We're not doing things just to check the box this year of wrapping something up. So we're with you. And that is our next piece of advice, is new ways to celebrate that are not gifts. Right. And so experiences is obviously the biggest one. Go to a show you like, if you're trying to give to grandkids or family members, maybe talk to their parents or them and see if you can contribute to a zoo membership for the year, or help them with the summer camp that they may want to attend. That, the other thing that, is important is spending time together. And so our family loves playing games. And so we'll have epic card nights or something, and we'll play cards all night, or drink hot chocolate in our pajamas and watch a movie. All the Christmas movies have a Christmas movie marathon. Or famously, my mother and my daughter played holiday charades a couple of years ago together. And it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So
it was so entertaining for everybody not playing, just to watch that. It was lovely.
So, and I was remember that more than the gifts. Yeah. So
yes, absolutely.
And just because your mom watches this, I want you to know she did a great job. She was wonderful.
Yes, Mom, you were wonderful. My mom does listen to the podcast and watch it.
Yeah, so. Oh, that's good. Well, I'll share a Christmas memory when I was not married. Is before I was married. And even before I was dating my wife, I came home and it was just me and my dad, and everyone else was out. My mom was out, my sister and her husband, my brothers were out. And my dad looked at me, he said, I guess it's up to us to decorate the Christmas tree. And I said, okay, yeah, I'm game. He said, I think we need a little help. And I said, oh, okay. And he brought out a bottle of Green Label Jack Daniels. Oh. And we sipped on Jack Daniels and decorated the Christmas tree to the horror of my mom when she came in.
Were you two still upright by the time the Christmas tree
was? We were upright, but the tree was slanted, and there was more stuff on the ground than on the tree.
That's fantastic.
Yes, we were never allowed to do that ever again.
That she knew about.
Yeah. But that's, that's, as you was talking about, it's a fun memory. And, I laugh with my mom about that, and, and my brothers and sister. And that's the good thing about Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's another kind of gift that's not necessarily something that consumable is what I'm trying to say. It's not an experience, but it's something that you can use and enjoy, and then it's gone. It's not something that just gathers dust in the house. So, we got my dad a whiskey sampler last year. So he and Nick and my brother-in-laws all, tried it. And then when it's gone, but they have the time together and experience it, and then it's done. Or, a really nice hand lotion or whatever, something that people love, cookies or nice wreath for their door or whatever. And then it's not collecting dust. So all kinds of good ideas.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So our last tip, and this may help motivate some people when they're setting the budget, is to remember that this is the most expensive time of the year for more than just the holidays, right? It's travel and everything like that. But there are big expenses for people at the end of the year. Property taxes are also due at the end of the year. So you need to remember this, especially if you've paid off your mortgage.
Yeah. You just have to just stroke that check because there's not escrow anymore. Same with home insurance, might be due in or around the same time. That adds up.
And then income taxes, of course, are due in the first quarter of the new year. So you have to plan on that. How can you pay your taxes if you owe any while you're paying off holiday debt is something to kind of keep in mind to maybe motivate you. And then don't forget about the cost of stress and emotional stress of either making these holidays so much bigger, and you're getting worn out, and maybe you get sick or whatever, and that can be a financial cost, but also an emotional cost down the road. And so the main message is just to kind of be serious about what's important. Most likely it's the people and not the things. And, you can try to do things differently and have the conversations to make it a better holiday and better for your savings and investments as well. So people kind of, if you wait till the last minute, there's a common, a growing trend to purchase this type of gift. It is the gift card.
Oof.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. That's the like panic button or the I don't know what to get them. I'm going to go get this gift card.
As a side note, in our office, it's the only rule other than the budget is no gift cards.
For
Oh,
Secret Santa.
really?
Actually get a thing for somebody. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
all I get for my nieces and nephews because I don't know
All right.
what to get them.
Well, you're not alone. What percentage of Americans plan to give gift cards? This is from a 2022 survey.
60%.
It's too low.
Too
Oh
low?
my God. I was going to guess 50.
80%. 80%.
Is it 80? Is it? Yeah.
It's the middle. It's 72% of Americans plan to give gift cards.
I'm in that 72%.
So that's pretty crazy. But here's the thing. In 2024, it's estimated that there's approximately $23 billion worth of gift cards that are unused out there.
Did you say billion with a B?
Yeah, $23 billion in unused gift cards.
Can we pay off some of the national debt with that? Like,
really?
Those companies
it's guilty in our house. We have a stack of them.
I wasn't even going to bring it up, but we have a stack that I've collected from different areas where Becky hides them, and I put a rubber band around them. And
why don't you use them?
If it's not an immediate thing, I put them in a pile and I forget about them.
Yeah.
So the average in unspent gift cards per household is $187. Right.
I have to say we do a good job of spending the gift cards.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
because by the way, if I give you a gift, let's say it's a gift card, I go, I really want, I don't know if Sam Goody's still around or Guitar World, get you some audio equipment, right? I know why Sam Goody came to mind. But I know, don't laugh at me. So I get you a gift card and you don't spend it. Then okay, I spent the money. I tried to do something nice. You didn't even get to appreciate it.
Right.
The thing. So can I ask a question, Becky? Is cash insensitive? Because I come from a long line of Italians that every wedding, every birthday, you got cash.
Yes.
Is cash not a thing? Is it a thing? How do you feel about it?
I think you have to, depends on the situation, right? Depends on the person.
I can give you cash for Christmas. Is that what you're saying?
No, we share a bank account. That's weird.
Here you go, babe. Merry Christmas.
And you're not going to hand cash at Secret Santa, right?
$35. There you go.
I think there is a way to give cash that can be better than a gift card. For example, my mom's a good gift giver, by the way. So one year for our daughter, instead of just giving her a $20 bill, she taped $21 bills end to end to make this long, toilet paper roll of them, rolled them up in a box, and then had a little sign on the end that said, pull here. And so my daughter just kept pulling this money out of this box and made it like a whole experience for,
that's cool.
Which was a cool way to give gift money to a kid, right? Because it seems like, when is it going to end?
Right.
Or silver dollars or something that's different, unique, or folded in origami shape or something like that. And so in that sense, I think cash can be better than gift cards because people are more likely to use it instead of save it for a special occasion or lose it or forget about it.
Yeah.
So, but out of all the gift cards bought, 48% of the gift cards are e-gift cards. So now we're just emailing gifts to each other.
I wouldn't do that. So
that's the line of personal to impersonal is email. Yeah. And by the way, you get enough spam email and all that stuff. If I got a gift card, by the way, via email, if anybody out there listening has sent me one, I didn't get it. I haven't seen one come through. I don't check my personal email.
It's hard, right? Because you're more, you lose stuff in your inbox all the time, right?
Yes.
But that's a growing, and just half of all gift cards bought are e-gift cards, which shows you either that we're last minute or I don't even know what it is.
I would guess that there's an age cutoff.
Probably.
An old person like me is not doing that, and probably a little below you two. But if you start talking to your nieces and nephews who are in their 20s, I wouldn't be surprised if they felt that was common.
Yeah, they probably are more tech savvy and can put it on a wallet somewhere to spend a lot quicker. than I could. But so gift cards, those are the fun facts about gift cards. It's a huge, huge industry, and there's so much that goes unused. So if you get a gift card, go out and spend it right away, because otherwise it'll end up in a pile in my house forever and ever. So
I'm going to work through that this year. That's going to be our 2025. One of our resolutions is I'm going to put that by where we keep our keys and my wallet.
They expire. Like after 3 years, they start to like delete. Some of them like delete a certain percentage every year.
I don't know. I think
I got rid of that.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
Oh, I don't know. I've called the number on some of them, and they're like, it's a zero balance now. You didn't use it.
Oh, because I think that there's a law out recently that companies could not say, it expired. Couldn't do that.
Well, my gift cards are old enough that they did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know what I do with my like Borders gift card or my, Sam Goody
those
gift
just can go to the graveyard. Yeah.
Yes.
But you know what? We're gonna do that, babe. We're gonna look through when we go out. If we're gonna go out to Walmart and we have a Lowe's card, we'll go to Lowe's instead for something. We'll use the gift card.
All right. So, overall, there's a lot of holiday things, you can spend money on, and gift cards is one of them, but make sure you at least enjoy the gift card, or make sure they do. But so when you prepare, your homework is to prepare for the holiday season and include all the things in your budget. Have the hard conversations and try to get things that maybe aren't things. They're experiences or time with each other. And if you're listening to this and it's way too late and you're like, no, the holidays are here, we're done, that ship sailed, then your homework is in January to go back and actually see what you spent, track your spending, so that next year you can say, wow, I spent $500 on gifts and $1,500 on everything else. What happened? So that's your homework, but enjoy the holiday season and enjoy time with each other. So, yay.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you, Becky. Phenomenal job.
Yes.
Lots of fun facts.
Great info.
Yeah.
Great info.
Yeah.
Contact information, Nick.
All right. Where can you guys find us? Obviously the website, sunrisewealthadvisors.com. We've actually, between recording this episode and the last one, had a few people reach out to us on the website asking some follow-up questions, which was kind of nice and fun. And we were able to answer a few questions for some people. We're on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Sounds like everything, huh?
That is, yes. I feel like that's enough, frankly. You can find us at all those places. And Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and Happy Holidays to everybody. We're going to hopefully have, I think this might be the last episode for the year. I don't know how the timing will work out here.
Okay.
But if people miss us for an extra week or so, we'll be back in January. Thank you. And thank you, RJ. I hope you have a happy holiday.
Same to both of you. Yeah. Thank you. This is fun. This is, I enjoy working with both of you.
I was going to say, Becky's a lot of fun, right? I mean, it's like so easy to be married to her. She's amazing. I'm going to give her cash for Christmas. We can figure that out. This is great. This is great. It's been a great episode.
Nick, I was taking notes on how you were. I was like, okay, this is what I need to say to my wife.
Yeah,
that was very nice. I like that. That was very good. No, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. All that good stuff to both of you. This has been an absolute pleasure working with you, and I look forward to 2025 and the fun podcasts you guys have planned. Okay.
Yeah. We'll see you there.
All right. And as always, we're looking forward to the next podcast. And thank you for listening to today's Can I Retire Now podcast. Until next time, for Nick and Becky, I'm RJ Malik.
Thank you for listening to the Can I Retire Now podcast. Click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit our website at www.sunrisewealthadvisors.com or give us a call at 407-351-3476. And don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Can I Retire Now? The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning. The views depicted in this material are for informational purposes only and not necessarily those of Cetera Advisors. They should not be considered specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Neither Cetera Advisors nor any of its representatives may give legal or tax advice. Securities and advisory services offered through Cetera Advisors, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC, a broker-dealer and registered investment advisor. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity. 6052 Turkey Lake Road, Suite 101, Orlando, Florida, 32819.